Hey everyone, so I haven't uploaded in a couple months because I've been busy with school and worrying about COVID-19 and doing homework and all this crap, but today I figured I'd go ahead and show you guys how I do my lightsaber effects for my videos, because I use free software, and frankly, it's pretty fun to do. So let's hop right into it. Also, disclaimer, this will be a very technical video, so if you want actual fun stuff, click off. Alright, so I have this footage here of my little brothers doing a little improvised Star Wars fight, so let's just see what we're working with here. Alright, so Felix is shooting, Calvin's deflecting the laser blasts, just shooting, and Felix dies. Alright. So let's bring this into our first program of the day, which is called Rebaslight. Now, Rebaslight is a free software that allows you to do Star Wars-like effects, including laser blasts, lightsabers, force lightning, and even just regular gunshot effects. So when we first open up the program, we're going to see Open Main Source. So here we just pick our file. Okay, and it's a funky name because I've had to convert it to an MP4 because my camera records in a different format. What we're going to do here, click Restore Original Frame Rate or else things will get really messy really quickly. Yes, I'm sure. Now, the free version of Rebaslight has watermarks on the top and the bottom, but if you want to pay $25, then you can easily get rid of those watermarks. So from here, what we're going to do, we're going to find our first frame where we want the lightsaber effect. So I'm going to pick once it looks like they're starting to fight. So maybe right about there. And I'm going to hop up into effects. I'm going to pick laser glow. And this will create a lightsaber effect on your main source. So you can, I like to bump up the glow size a bunch. You can pick the lightsaber color. Let's make it red for fun. And then what you're going to do, just drop 4 points anywhere on here, and you're going to drag these points to the edges of your lightsaber blade. So we'll put one there, in that corner, and that corner. Now, this doesn't have to be a perfect process, but I'm a perfectionist, so of course I make it a perfect process. Then from here, you can skip over a couple frames and drag the points back to where they should be. Now, one of the reasons I like Rebaslight is it uses a keyframing system, meaning that it'll auto move that between the 2 points where you put it. So you see I've got a point there, and it automatically predicts where the blade is going to be. So we can preview what this looks like. Pop up here, click the star for effects mode, and you can see the lightsaber glow on the blade. And we can preview, see how it looks. Looking good so far. But if you look closely, and you're a perfectionist like me, you can see a bit of the original plastic blade in there. So what we can do, we can go back into editing mode, and I'm just gonna drag this out and put it back in place. Okay, now let's see what we've got. Alright, I think that looks good. Now, this is going to be a painfully long process, but I mean, what else are you going to do in quarantine? So you're going to have to do that for every frame of this video and just work through it, and keep keyframing every frame. Now, I'm going to show you how to do the blaster fire now. So I'm going to go into effects, go into laser glow again, and you're going to want to pick red. As long as you're doing a Star Wars blast. I don't know what color it might be in different movies. Actually, no, in Star Wars it's red and green. You could pick either. We'll go with red. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to find a point where it looks like he's shooting, so maybe right about there. And we're going to just create our own little blaster fire right there. Okay? And there, let's see how it looks. Looks great. And it may not look great on a frozen frame, but trust me, when you speed it up, it looks awesome. Now, for blaster fire, they fire in a straight line, which would be very hard to do if you did each individual frame. But like I mentioned, Rebaslight does keyframing, so we can just go to another frame, drag this to where the lightsaber is. We'll shrink this up for distance reasons. And Rebaslight automatically keyframes the blaster fire, which is awesome. One thing you'll notice is that it might get confusing with the two red blades, but luckily we can just pop up here and pick another lightsaber color. Now, again, you're going to have to do this for every frame of the video, but lucky for the sake of this video, I've already done that. So once you've keyframed the entire video, you're going to come up here to Projects, you're going to hit Export, and pick your settings, and hit Export. And that will save it frame by frame and convert it to a video. So let's take a peek at what our fully keyframed version looks like. Alright, looks great. So now what we can do, we can pop this into your normal editor. I use Lightworks because it's, again, free and it has a lot of the features I need. Alright, let's go ahead and import our finished Rebaslight project. And something I'm going to do right off the bat is I'm going to get a DVE, and I'm going to crop the top and the bottom 10%. Cinematically, it'd be 13%, but I like 10% because it gives a little bit more frame. Next, we're going to trim up the beginning and the end where the effects are not present. So let's just tab over and make a cut and delete that. Next, we're going to go to the end and find that last frame right about there. Delete that. And we're going to delete the sound files there. Okay, now because we deleted the sound, we still need sound for the video, otherwise it's very boring. So I have downloaded a couple of Star Wars sound effect packs. So we're going to import all of these. What I like to do is just straight up drag it into the workspace and just listen to all the sound effects. Okay, so what can we do with this? Well, first I'm gonna grab this lightsaber hum. Just zoom in, find the very beginning of it, and I'm going to bring it up here and have it play throughout the entire video. Bring down the volume a bit, so that it's subtle. And I'm gonna... Now what we can do here is chop out the specific sound effects we need. Now we don't need the turning on or turning off because the lightsaber stays on for the entire clip. So we can crop out just the swings. Alright, so now we can listen over the swing effects. Alright, now we've got to put them all in place. So for light swings, you're obviously going to use the lighter ones, harder swings, like that. So let's go ahead and look for our first swing. I'd say it's right about there. And let's mark that so that we don't lose it. And let's find an effect that sounds like it'd go there. Alright, I like that deep swing right there. So we're going to drag that in. Just tip, hold down Control and drag it to copy it and paste it to wherever your mouse is. We're going to go ahead, place that right in there. Let's move it back a bit. Alright, that looks good. So now we've got our first effect. Now you just got to do that for the rest of the swings throughout the video. Luckily, I've already done that, so we can just move on to the next thing. I'm going to hit backspace on my keyboard here, and just add in a bunch of more audio tracks, because we're going to need them. Next, I'm going to bring in my blaster sound effects, and I'm going to lower the volume on this whole track because it is loud. And then after I have that volume lowered, we can start to crop it up. Alright, now we've got these chopped up, so we're going to get rid of this start one and find where we placed our first blaster fire effect. So right there. And we're just going to drag up the sound effect. You know the deal. Boom. And there we go. Then we can drag in more for each subsequent, is that a word? Echo. Define subsequent.
The adjective subsequent is usually defined as occurring or coming later or after, often followed by to. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for subsequent.
Okay, each subsequent fire. And you can always just futz with it, fine-tune it. But, lucky for the sake of this video, I've already done all this, so we don't need to do it. So you're just going to want to bring in all sorts of different sound effects that would fit in your video, like even the smallest things, like the lightsaber deflecting the bullet. Just small stuff like that, because that makes your video seem realistic, like it'd fit in Star Wars or whatever you're trying to make it feel like. So for this, I had obviously the lightsaber and the blaster sound effects, also the lightsaber deflecting the bullet, and I had a falling body sound effect for when Felix hits the ground here. So here's my finished product with all of the sound effects and all of the video effects all put together. So once you're done, you can go ahead and hit right click anywhere on the timeline, go to export, and then choose your format. I just do MP4. Futz with all your settings and hit start, and then that will export, and depending on how long the video is, obviously it'll take longer or shorter, but once it's done, we can see what we've got. Alright, that was good. So, I mean, once you're done with that, you can really do whatever you want with it. Put it on YouTube, or send it to me, or show it to your family. Send it to your teacher. No kidding, don't do that! But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe. And Fix a Phone Part 3 coming soon. What?